So good afternoon and welcome to number 11 in my series of Pixiecasts. And I'm staying in America today, having spoken to Cameron Gray yesterday in Maine. I'm moving slightly further west, I think. My geography of America is not fantastic, but I'm pretty sure I'm going west and southwest, pretty much down near towards the Mexican border to Texas, and speaking to one of the Flynn families, the famous Flynn families from the Facebook groups. It's Greg. Good afternoon, Greg. How are you?
Oh, good morning.
Well, good morning for you, yeah. Have I dragged you out of bed as well, like I did Cameron yesterday?
Oh no, not that bad. It's only 8 o'clock here. It's not bad at all.
And you had
I
a bit
got
of
coffee, so I'm good.
You had a family party yesterday as well. So was that a good event?
Mm-hmm. It was a good time. Hard to stay distant from everybody, but
Sure. Yeah.
we all you want to hug and everything, but
Yeah.
Grandpa's 70 years old, so you gotta stay a little away from him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I saw some of your photos though that your wife posted, and it looks like you're having a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Everyone behaved themselves?
Oh yeah. No, they don't get wild at those families.
What about
At that family
what about your
events.
dad? Did he behave himself?
Oh yeah. He went back and worked on his house after that yesterday, back in the sun.
Wow. So it's pretty warm down there still, is it?
Yeah, it's still in the mid to high 90s every day. So we're not quite out of the summer, but it's starting to cool down a little bit.
Cool.
But,
And how cold does it get in your winters then? Does it get cold at all, or just sort of slightly less hot?
I would not call that cold. I don't think anybody else, especially up north, would call it cold either. I mean, so if we get a snow every 5 years, that's a big deal.
Okay.
And all hell breaks loose when that happens.
Yeah.
The roads shut down, nobody goes to work, and we play in that like 2 inches of snow that stuck on the ground that one day. All day long.
So it's quite an event for you if you get any snow. So.
Oh yeah, any at all.
And you're near Houston, or Euston as you call it.
Yeah. When I went to New York, they kept calling. They have a Houston Street there, and they call it Houston. And what the hell are y'all saying? No, I live in Houston.
Houston. So you just throw away the H and the O, and you just go straight for Houston. Yeah.
We say the important letters and skip all the rest.
And what do you do for a living then, Greg?
I work in construction. I do commercial air conditioning. It's not very exciting at all, unless you don't have that commercial air conditioning, and then it's real exciting. A little sweaty, but
a good business to be in, I'd imagine, with your climate down there.
Yeah, we stay busy.
Yeah, you've been doing that for quite a while.
Yeah, ever since I got out of high school, I did a year of college that didn't pan out real well for me, obviously. Mm-hmm. After that, I went to work and been doing that since 2008.
Okay.
So 12 years.
Yeah. So your dad knows who's installing his aircon for him then when he comes to complete his house.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I'll be doing it for him. He's gonna have to pay double.
I was going to say, would he pay well, or would he expect mates rates, as we call it over here?
Mates rate, yeah, friends and family discount, yeah.
So you're going to be busy then when it comes to installing his aircon. You have other work on.
Yeah, we stay busy. He's never been one for paying anybody to do any work for him.
Oh, okay.
He'll do it all himself. And he'll do a shitty job, sometimes. Most of the time it's a good job. Every once in a while, he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's on YouTube learning how to do it, but most of the time it's good. We've built many houses. It's growing up, I hated it. Now as an adult, I look back and go, I'm glad I know how to do those on my house now, but man.
Let him make the mistakes and you learn from them.
Yeah, when I was 10, I sure as hell hated getting up on Saturday morning. All the other kids are getting to play video games, and I'm out building houses.
So he's built houses before then, has he, your dad?
Yeah. So I was like 13, they bought a house, and I think it was 900 square foot. And then when we left that house, it was 2,600 square foot. So it almost tripled in size. Mm-hmm. And so it's a never ending project with Dad. He's always working on something.
Yeah.
Building barns, building sheds, building carports, everything he can. Yeah. He's going to do it.
And if he's not doing that, he's singing Pixies tracks in his truck.
Yeah. y'all find that interesting. I find it ridiculous. Like I roll my eyes every time I see him. Like he's getting more attention. It's what he needs.
I think he creates his own attention, to be honest. But did you see my chat that I had with Joe Kirkham the other day and her describing when she met your dad when he came over?
Oh yeah, she said something about he wasn't near as big as she did.
He was normal size. He was normal size.
He was normal size. Oh, it's funny. He's a little bit smaller than me. He's not that tall.
Is he not?
He's a small fella.
Because we sort of like imagine he's like a sort of Dan Dare, sort of Man Mountain kind of figure in his truck, and that he just looks so sort of big and that. So how do you think he'll have taken to be described as normal size then by Joe?
About him being normal size. Yeah. I imagine Joe's pretty little then. I can't imagine.
I've not met her actually, but yeah, I guess so.
Oh really?
She's she's a Scouser. They're all just lots of mouth, the Scousers up in Liverpool. So yeah, she's probably tiny, but she's all mouth. Yeah,
it's all mouth.
I'm only joking, Joe, by the way. So I guess we ought to talk about Pixies, really, didn't we? At least introduce a bit of Pixies into this conversation. How long have you been a fan?
So I think so. Everything always stems back to Dad, I guess. But Dad started listening to them around. He said, "Come on, Pilgrim." No, I'm sorry. Around Surfer Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
And Come on, Pilgrim was out, and I think he went and saw him on the Surfer Rosa tour. So I would have been just born about that time.
Yeah.
So growing up was always listening. There was always listening to Pixies, listening to lots of different other music around that same time. But so I've told, I always say I was born into it, it's accurate. We grew up listening to it, and it was always Dad's music,
Mm-hmm.
But up until we get to the group, I didn't really, I listened to it and I know it, but really digging into it with the group, that really kind of pushed me.
Yeah.
But
what other music did you like when you were growing up then? Or did your dad inflict on you?
So growing up, he would listen to Pixies and Weezer, Pearl Jam,
Controversial.
Nirvana.
Weezer.
Not that controversial. Weezer's
okay.
Just fine. They're doing their best.
Pearl Jam and Nirvana. Okay, yeah, I can get those two. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the grunge music back then, getting that we grew up on a healthy dose of that, and then also mixed in with we live in Texas, so there's you can't miss out on listening to some country music and some of that stuff.
Yeah.
As you get older, you kind of like get a little aggravated with it sometimes, but it's still ingrained in you. It's still there.
Yeah.
But yeah, growing up, definitely a heavy dose of grunge, listening to tons of Beatles, listening to lots of old stuff. And then, once we got past a certain age, it was no longer, Dad giving us music to listen to. It flipped, and us sending stuff back to him.
Sure.
And saying, hey, check this out. Hey, check that out. Yeah. And dragging him to concerts. And he gets older and older, and he keeps rapping about concerts, but we keep dragging him to him.
Cool. But, okay. When you and I were setting this chat up, you asked me what we were going to be talking about, and a couple made me raise my eyebrows. Let's see if I can find it. He said, "What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about?" And then he said, "Vampire Weekend and American football." So I'm going to have trouble with you. I'm going to have trouble with you. I can tell.
I'm really so. I'm not just giving you a hard time. I like Vampire Weekend. I really do.
Right.
But.
Right.
I hope you delete that out of this video, though. Don't tell everybody.
That's fine. I can understand there's a place for them, just not in my music collection.
It's not your music. I hear you had a little trouble yesterday with American Pie or something.
American Pie?
Yeah. No. I could have sworn I saw something about Jordan posted something about American.
Oh yeah.
Pie.
Sorry. I thought you meant the film. Yeah, no, the song American Pie. Yeah, no, you're quite right. Yeah. No, I was just joking around.
That was grounds for divorce.
Yeah, no, I'll explain to you. I was just joking around because the last time I heard anyone know all the words, Bearing in mind, Jordan and I have been together for like 10 years and married for 5 years. And it came on we were streaming music on the TV last night. And it came on and she just like started singing. And I thought, she's gonna forget the words in, after 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. And she just like carried on. And I just looked at her and I said, "You don't know all the fucking words, do you?" Excuse my French. And she just sort of like smiled and just carried on singing. And I said, the only other person that I've ever known to know all the words was this complete cock that I used to work with about 10 years ago in Bristol. And I just he was just a complete idiot. He really was. So I've always had this idea that anyone who knows all the words to American Pie must be a complete cock. So that's why Jordan put a little poll up on Facebook about, is it grounds for divorce knowing all the words to American Pie, which I still think it is. So that's a conversation for Jordan and I to have.
I didn't think any non-Americans even cared for that song. Isn't she Australian? She knows all.
She is Australian, yeah. She's just got a fantastic memory for anything like that. So, yeah.
I don't know all the words. I mean, I like the song when it comes on. I'll listen to it.
It is a good song. It is a good song.
Peter Norris posted the Weird Al Star Wars version on that post.
Okay.
Which is way better. It's way better than Don.
I haven't got to look at that yet, so I'll go back and I'll have a look at that. I'm talking to Peter actually in a couple of days on this Pixiecast. So I did actually ask him if he'd do a song as well. I hope he doesn't do that song, otherwise there might be trouble. So we're not talking about Vampire Weekend any more than what we already have. American football, I know absolutely nothing about American football, but I gather you're a bit of a fan.
Yeah, I had Dad and I were having a conversation with Jeff Cameron, I guess about a year ago or so. I think it was when we met him in Nashville, and we were talking how much big of fans we're. We're Texans fans, yeah. And he pulls up his pant legs, and he's got a Patriots tattoo down the back of his calf.
Okay.
Because they've won Super Bowls after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. I'm like, yeah, we're not that big a fan. He's way bigger a fan than we are. I don't have any tattoos of my team, but yeah, we grow up playing football and watching it, and yeah, it's just football is life here. That and concussions.
That and what?
It's not good. That and concussions. It's not good for your brain.
Oh, I see. Concussions. Yeah. Okay. So going back to Pixies then. Got a favorite album?
Yeah. I think when I first joined the group, it would have been Bossa Nova. But the longer I dig deeper and look at it, I feel like it's definitely Come On Pilgrim. I just like that raw start of, four people that really didn't know what they were doing and just thrown into a room and, said, let's make something beautiful. I like that. I like that rawness of the first album.
Mm-hmm.
And after watching the Come On Pilgrim Surfer Rosa tour, I mean, that
special, wasn't
that
it?
definitely nailed it down for me. Yeah, I think that's my favorite album.
So where did you see them then on that tour?
That was in Brooklyn, at Brooklyn Steel.
Oh, okay. So up in New York.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there for that one. Yeah. That was a pretty cool happening.
Do many big bands come down to Houston or Houston, however we're describing it, pronouncing
it? Definitely not. So we're so close to Austin that the big bands will, they'll skip us sometimes, or they'll hit us on a Tuesday through Thursday night.
Yeah.
So that I'm going to the shows, but I don't feel good the next day.
No, I know it catches up with you, doesn't it? I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm getting old. I'm not a kid anymore.
Tell me about it.
Even though y'all keep saying I'm a kid, I feel old. So so we'll get shows on a Wednesday night. You'll go to a Wednesday night, and then then they'll hit Dallas Thursday, and then they'll be in Austin for Friday night. And it's like, man.
Yeah.
But so sometimes you have to go to Austin to see certain bands and certain smaller groups that aren't big. But for the most part, we have a lot of venues in Houston. People come through. We definitely have an opportunity to see them. And there's at least one venue 30 minutes away. So it's not hard to see shows here. It's there's easier and harder places to see concerts. It's hard to keep up with those guys out in LA.
Yeah. So I messaged your dad yesterday. See if you had any questions that you wanted me to ask you. So don't worry, there's nothing too bad. He's not throwing you under a bus, I promise. But he did say to ask him about his first Pixies concert. So what was your first Pixies concert?
So his or mine?
Yours.
Mine. So we saw Pixies. It wasn't the reunion tour. It was the Doolittle tour,
Okay.
2009, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first Pixie show, and the opening band was called the Fuck Buttons.
Okay.
And they were, I'm sorry, I know there's a few people that like them on there, but it was so bad.
Right.
By the time they were done, we were all turned around facing away from the stage.
Right.
And when
Not
they went
good.
off stage, we cheered so hard. And we're so happy to have the Pixies coming on.
Yeah.
But man, we had a ball. I moshed I think that would have been the second time I ever had moshed before. There was a small mosh pit going on, and I'm a large fella, so I come through there just kind
of. You can look after
know,
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, just throwing some bows around, and the floor was nice and sweaty and probably covered with beer, and I slipped and busted my ass and right in the middle of it. But I got ripped off the floor real quick, and it was a good time. I had a blast. That would have been early on me going to shows. Period. I think that might have been maybe my fourth or fifth concert I'd ever been to.
So were you there with your dad as well that night?
Yeah, Dad and both my brothers were there. Yeah,
So you were there to look after your normal sized dad, and you ended up on your butt.
Oh no, I would have been 19. I wasn't looking after anybody. I was an idiot.
And was your dad down the front as well, moshing?
He stood on the edge and kind of shoved it on me a little bit,
right.
But no, he didn't get all the middle. Mikey, my middle brother, got in there with me, and then Stevie was still like, I think 17 at the time. So he was on Dad's insurance at the time, so he's like pulling it back, going, "No, I'm not paying for that. You stay here." But yeah, we saw him on that tour, and then in 2014. My lovely wife, Jennifer, bought me Valentine's Day tickets to see them then. And then after that, we would have seen them that year that they came and we had the Vegas happening. I saw them twice that year, 3 times the next, I was I'm trying to catch up to Kimball and those guys. I'm trying to get my numbers up. It's hard.
Oh no, it is hard. Definitely. How many are you on then? How many gigs are you on? You reckon?
So last year when we went to New York would have been 9.
Okay.
I've seen 9 times.
Yeah, so you're ahead of me. I think I'm on about 6, something like that. So
I'm working on double digits, but COVID's not helping at all.
Certainly not. No, definitely not. So what did your dad say after that? He said ask him about the video of his brothers and I doing Where Is My Mind. So whose idea was that to do that one?
Okay, so he was in the group at the time, and he keeps bugging us about getting into the Pixie group, and we're like, yeah, we don't want to get in your group with your your old band, don't want to look into that.
You need some street cred.
He was bugging us about it, and finally we all got over to his house and we were jamming. He said, "Hey, we're gonna do this video. We're gonna make this," and he said the people on here are gonna love it. They're gonna they're really gonna enjoy it. And so he added us all to the group when he added the video on there, and we were like, "Oh man, these people are really nice. They're sweethearts. We weren't that good at all."
Yeah. Oh, you were good. I remember seeing it. You were good.
But yeah, we've been playing together. I mean, since I was about 16 or 17 or so, we all have played guitars, played something. Dad played bass, from learning at church and things like that. And we all learned, cut our teeth at church playing praise and worship music.
Okay.
And so, we played praise and worship music at home when they come, or at church, and they come home and sing Pixies in the afternoon.
I was going to say that they don't sit together too well, I wouldn't imagine.
We made it work, but
praising God 1 minute and then saying you're the son of a motherfucker the next doesn't really sit too well, does it?
We got to repent later.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, all of us play. Dad's always had a love for music, and Mom's got the ability. My mom can play. She plays piano like nothing I've ever seen. I've seen her go to weddings.
Yeah.
And they say, "Hey, we want you to play today." So okay, she goes in there and picks around for a second, and she plays this beautiful set all the way through. And then, she's good. And then So I met my wife. She sang in a praise and worship band, and they were on tour. And I met her. She was singing in the band, and so she's well more of a musician than I ever will be. She actually played in a for real band, even though it was just praise and worship music. But she sings. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's the ladies with the talent. All us guys are just doing our best to keep up.
Just goofing around at the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a favorite Pixies track out of all of them? Are you able to choose just one?
I want to say Gouge Away, but I think I want to go with a song off the album that I like, and I think I want to go with dang it, I can't think of the names of songs all of a sudden. Give me a second.
Okay.
I don't want to screw it up and say it wrong. Isla de Encanta. I love the song because it's just, I don't have to learn the words. I can learn them in Spanish as many times as I want, and I don't know what any of it's talking about, but I love the feel of it, and I love the hard hitting of it. But
Isla de Encanta? Or Vamos? Yeah. Isla de Encanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isla de Encanta.
Okay, cool.
That one's definitely my favorite.
Cool.
Especially off that album.
Why is that you love that one so much? Just the energy of it.
Yeah, just the energy of it, and I don't, like I said, I just don't even know what they're saying. I don't. It's in a completely, half of it's in Spanish, so I mean, my Spanish is terrible, and so it's just sounds and grunts. It's just music with energy. That's all it is to me, and I like it. I like the not knowing. That one, I've heard that one live at least twice, I think.
Okay.
And it's always just what's a song, like a minute and a half at most. It's a short song.
Yeah.
And so it's just hits you in the face, for a minute and a half, and then it's just stopped. It's done. We're gonna move on to the next one. I like the energy of it.
Could be one of those choices where I keep asking people that question from Joe Kirkham about if you're naked on stage, which song would you sing? That could be one of them, couldn't it? As it's a short one.
Yeah, things would be flopping around, but
thanks for that visual picture. We might come back to that question, but after you just said that, we might not at the end of the chat. Okay, so happenings. How many happenings have you been to over in the States?
I think officially 4.
Officially?
I think. Yeah, because
what, were there some that you weren't meant to be at or something?
Well, yeah, I snuck in and watched from behind the curtains.
Some that your wife doesn't know that you were at.
So sometimes there's an argument on whether certain things are happenings or not.
Oh, okay.
I feel like if you got more than a couple people there, that's a happening. But
absolutely, yeah. Hey, Adam Short and my wife and me, we had a happening, just the three of us. We met up for Sunday lunch in the rural England. So anything counts above 2.
Yeah, you happening all over breakfast. That was
exactly, yeah.
That's a win. Count it.
Yeah.
So the Vegas, the original Vegas one I got to go to, which at the time I wasn't even in the friends group at the time. I had no idea what was going on. Dad just said, "Hey, we're going to meet with some people in Vegas. You want to go?"
Yeah.
And he bought 2 tickets. I think he assumed my mom would go with him, and she definitely doesn't want to go to a show. And so he said, "I got an extra ticket. We got an extra bed in the hotel room. Y'all just get yourselves down there." And I'm glad we went. It was a good time. I made a fool of myself at the meetup the day before, and it was, I think we had paid like $50 for a drink ticket, and they made us whatever drinks we wanted to all night long.
Mm-hmm.
And we abused that $50, and so I could barely leave the place. I remember we walked out of the bar, and we all ran into Kristen Hess. She was just kind of getting there a little late.
Yeah.
And she started talking, and her Boston accent is really thick. And she started talking. I was like, "Oh!" I was screaming, and I was making a fool of myself. That accent is great. And she said, "Your accent is great." And Kristen's a sweetheart, but so I went to that one. Nashville was a completely different experience.
So sorry, just go back on the Vegas one. So that was the one that Pixie came over from UK, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Pixie, Adele,
yeah.
Princess, and then everybody from California, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Amber Tweedy lives. She lives there in Vegas. We met her.
Mm-hmm.
It was, man. It was a great experience. I want to say there was close to 50 people at the concert.
Yeah.
That Saturday. And the floors of that venue
sprung
had like springs built in them, because it was like on the third floor of a hotel, and so if you didn't want to jump, you didn't really have a choice. You were going to jump with the trampoline that was moving with you. And we were all in this giant group of 50-ish people, and I had to leave early. I had a miscommunication about when the concert was, and so I booked my ticket too close to the concert.
Right.
And so at like the show would have ended at 11:30 or midnight or so, and about 11:15 I was like, I gotta go. We gotta fly out in like 30 minutes.
Shit.
So
okay.
Yeah, right. It was cutting it really close.
Yeah.
So I was like going through the crowd, and I was hugging everybody. It was like, oh, it's nice to meet you, nice to see you.
Yeah.
And then I got the main group up front, and then I realized, like, oh, here's another group of people with 3 people. Here's another group of people. So it was throughout the whole, I was just leaving the show and going, oh, hey, I know you. And then, oh, there's Miles over there. I know Miles. Hi, Miles. Chris Takashima's over there with him. And that was great. It was a great time, but that was so many people. That was crazy.
Yeah. But, so that was the first one. Sorry, I stopped you in your tracks. And then the second one?
Second one would have been Nashville. And like it was, so Vegas was intense, and Nashville was more of a communal thing. We were all like on the lawn and able to get together and enjoy the songs and talk to each other. And really, it was great. So that was Pixie and Weezer.
Okay.
And so we were forcing everybody to sing Weezer songs, and they're like rolling their eyes and everything. You're going to sing. My name is Jonas. You're going to sing it. So that was a good time. And we got to do the Jason Bostic playing the meetup the day before. We went to a bar there, and we had a really good time. Nashville is a really cool town. I never planned to go to Nashville. Had no urges to say, I want to go to Nashville and see it. But Nashville is a really neat town, and if you're ever thinking to go to that part and seeing it, it's a really cool town. And so then after that, I would have been the Brooklyn Steel Surfer Rosa, Come On Pilgrim Surfer Rosa tour, which was a really neat deal. I flew in. The show was a Monday night, I believe.
Yeah.
And I flew in. No, it was a Sunday night. I flew in Saturday. I should have landed at like 11 p.m. and had a 2-hour delay and some other stuff going on, so I didn't get back to my room until 3 or so. So I woke up at 4, or I woke up at 7 a.m. and just couldn't stand it. I'm like, we gotta go, gotta move, gotta see New York. I'm here.
Yeah.
And so I drug poor Bill Street out of bed. He stayed with me. And I drug him out of bed. I said, come on, man, we gotta go. New York's not gonna wait on us. We gotta go. Yeah. And so we hit the town at 7 in the morning, had breakfast with Albert. What's Albert's last name? Albert. He lives in New York. I can't think of his last name. So we had breakfast with him in a really good place, and then just started meeting up with people. Saw Jen Bernowski later on. She had a friend with her. We saw somebody else. We kept seeing people, and then we ran into we ran into Joey after breakfast, and then we stalked him for a little bit. And it was really uncomfortable, but we saw him, and then later on that night was a really good show. It was a particularly special show. You saw the whole visuals and everything that Miles put on, and that Kate was involved in, and just to see their stuff go on, live like that was amazing. I didn't want to be on the front row with everybody else in that. I wanted to be able to see all those visuals. So I stood towards the back, close to where, Miles' little booth was. And that was cool. That was a really good time.
And you're taking your kids to some of the happenings, I believe your dad was telling me.
Yeah, I did. I've taken them to a show now in Austin a couple years ago. I drug them to a little venue and had them see, and and my kids they're both very different people. My youngest is very, very energetic, more like dad, wants to feel the music. And then the older one's more just, I want to sit back and enjoy this. So our older one, Kaylin, she's just sitting in the chair and just taking it all in. And then our youngest one looks like a hippie child over there, dancing to, and feeling it. And every time she'd look over to somebody else enjoying the music and dancing, she's like, yeah, I can do that too. And then she'd dance, and she had a good time. But yeah, we watched all through Pixies, and I'm sure everybody'd be happy to know we left early at Weezer. We didn't watch all of Weezer.
So you're keeping the family tradition going then of the children of each generation, they get indoctrinated with Pixies, like your dad did with you.
So that wasn't the plan at first, but yeah, that's what's happening now.
So moving back to the music and that then, and Frank Black's solo career, did you enjoy his solo stuff?
So I've listened to the Frank Black, the self-titled, a lot.
Yeah.
And then throughout the rest of it, I haven't dug into it. I know Kimball Shirley was getting on to me at one time because they were all trying to get me into listening to Wilco, and I have a pattern when I listen to new bands. I start with the first album, and then I go into like that album is ingrained in my life, and then I'll move on slowly. So it takes me a while. So I've gotten into Frank Black and I've listened to it thoroughly, and I need to move on to the next album, and I just haven't yet, other than the onesie twosies that are, hits off other albums or so. But no, I haven't dug into it as much as I need to. But
okay, so you've not even really got into Teenager of the Year then?
No, I haven't.
Oh mate, you're missing out on something, I tell you.
Shameful.
It's a special album, that is. So have you got a favorite then of his solo career?
I mean, just picking off that one album, it'd have to be, I think Ramona is an awesome song.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. I think that was the choice, if I remember rightly, of Pixie White, actually. So you're in good company there. But yeah, it's a great song.
My daughters love that song too. We've seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World 100 times, and that song's heavy in there. So they love Ramona, and it's nice to hear them sing it. So,
it's a lovely song. Yeah, there's what's not to like about it, really. So that's a very good choice. And so from Frank Black, and just want to chat a little bit about the actual Facebook group and that, how obviously it's brought you to a lot of happenings and it's brought you a lot of new friends. Now it's a special place, isn't it? Because social media can be quite toxic and that in a lot of these groups, and it can all get a little bit ugly in that sometimes. But there's not really any sign of that in our Facebook groups, is there?
No, I mean, it gets nipped pretty quick if any kind of toxic, bullshit comes in. Somebody's going to nip it in the bud real fast and get rid of that shit. And it's nice. Shout out to all the, James and Adele and David and Mike Bozeman now helping with it. It's been great on the Friends group. They take care of that. But
and of course,
along with
Pixie and Jason and that as well in the main group.
Yeah, and Ryan, and they take care of everybody on there. It's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice to not have a ridiculous deal. But
true. So just going back to when you met Joey, you said it was a little bit awkward. Why was it awkward? Was it just like, was it one of those like I was talking about the other day? It's like, I think you're really great, and what else do you say, kind of thing.
I didn't say much to him. I didn't really want to go. I've never been one to meet anybody like that. I want to keep that distance, and I feel really uncomfortable about it.
Yeah.
But Albert was going like, hey man, we got to go now. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm going to get another opportunity. So we just kind of walked behind him. So we walked behind him for a while, and then he stopped, and then we passed him up, and then went, oh, hey, Joey, like we didn't see him and follow him for 100 yards or so.
Yeah.
And he said he pointed at his earbuds. He said, I'm on the phone, and just kind of waved, and he was being nice, and we walked on past. But then I creeped over my phone with my selfie cam and got a little stalker picture. Okay. and the pictures of the corner of my eye, and me just staring at the camera trying to get it lined up, and then getting a little quick shot of him. And neither Albert nor Bill thought about getting a picture. So that was our only picture from the the whole interaction. And it's my, really creepy eye in the corner.
Stalker photo.
It's not very flattering at all. It looks super weird.
Yeah, so not at all embarrassing, or at least he doesn't know about it. Well, maybe he will know if he watches these. I don't suppose he does, but you never know.
When Sean Rayburn was asking for pictures for his next book, I sent that to him and said, "Hey, this doesn't relate to any of this, but this is just funny." And I told him a little story about it, and I got a stalker picture of it, and he got a good little chuckle about that. So hopefully it doesn't come up anywhere else. But
brilliant. Okay, so what do you think of the stuff post the split up and then the reunion? So I know you said that you're really sort of like a Surfer Rose or a Pilgrim fan. That's where it all started for you.
So I hadn't got to listen to Indie Cindy very much until recently, and Indie Cindy's a damn good album. I really like it. Head Carrier is, I think, a little more. I feel like it's a little more mainstream style, like a little more like bossa nova. It kind of feels in that category of a little more palatable than everything else. So it's got songs in there that are very catchy, and it kind of really creeps into your day-to-day life. The newest album I really like. It's such a departure from the other stuff. It's taken me a while to fully get into it, but I think I really like it. I'm not exactly sure what a favorite song off of there would be, though.
That's okay. You don't have to choose one, because we're going to talk about Catholics now, and whether you're a fan of Frank Black and the Catholics.
So that self-titled album, again, I go chronological. So that self-titled album, I like. I really, really, really do like, and that country style. And Jeff was saying on the last video with you that it reminds him of Wilco, and I really, really like Wilco, and it does have that very Americana style to it. I wouldn't call it country. Y'all called it country. That's way off. That's way off from what it is. Americana at best. But I do like that first album, and I've listened to the other albums all the way through, but I haven't really, dug into them as deep as I want to. It takes me too long. It takes me too long to dig into every album.
Yeah, no,
I'll get to it.
I know what you mean. Sorry, you get to what?
I'll get to those albums. I will.
Oh, you'll get to them.
It just takes a little while for me.
Yeah. And so would you be able to choose a favorite track from the Catholics then?
Yeah. I really like Doggone.
Okay.
Not sure why. It just sticks in my head. I really, really like it.
That's okay. Okie doke. I shall note that one down as well. And I noticed you've got your Pixies T-shirt on. Is that one of many, or is that the only one you got?
No, I have too many.
You have too many. Quite a few. Okay.
Yeah. The kids have Pixie shirts too. It's like, I feel like half of our T-shirts in our house are Pixie shirts. And so what happens is I go to concerts so much and I feel bad. So I have to bring something home to them. Okay. And so I'll bring them concert T-shirts, but they get compliments on it every once in a while. We were at a restaurant one time, and this guy, and when we talk about Weezer again, this guy said, "Oh, Weezer, I love Weezer. I've never got to see them." Yeah. And I said, I've seen them 5 times. And he said, "What?" And I said, my oldest daughter said, "I've seen them once." And he said, "Oh my gosh, how old are you?" She said, "I'm 8. You've seen them?" Yeah. So that was a very proud moment. My kid's been to some concerts, but we've got way too many Pixie shirts and Pixie the group shirts. Yeah. Now that we keep having more and more come up, and I've had to dial it back a little bit and not get as many.
But no Weezer T-shirts then.
Oh man, I have one Weezer T-shirt, and it's probably my favorite shirt. I wear it so much, and my dog ate it the other day. It is in shambles.
Oh really?
I'm a little upset about that one.
Your dog obviously has great taste.
Oh, that asshole! I walked right into that one, didn't I? He
respects the T-shirts, the Pixies T-shirts, and just goes straight in for the Weezer T-shirt.
There's 0 holes in my Weezer, my Pixie shirts. They're all perfect condition. You could hang them up in a museum. Meanwhile, he eats that one to pieces.
Dog's like, Dad, what is this? I'm getting rid of it. This has got to go.
The little jerk.
What kind of dog have you got?
He's a Schnauzer Chihuahua mix, and I think he's up with the girls.
Okay.
His name is Jake the dog.
Okay. Don't think we've seen any photos of Jake the dog, have we? I don't remember seeing.
Yeah, I'll post some every once in a while. He's very fast. He's hard to get good pictures of him.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He doesn't stay still very long.
Unless he's eating a Weezer T-shirt.
Or shitting it back out.
Yeah. That's some shit I don't want to see. Thank you.
Oh man, poor Weezer. They're doing their best,
but it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough.
No. Oh man. Oh, y'all hating on Weezer so much.
So
let's go back to Vampire Weekend.
Oh no.
Blur. I do have a question for you. So I don't really listen to Blur very much, and it's not because I don't like
sensible.
them.
That's sensible. Yeah.
I just don't know. But what about the Gorillaz? Do you listen to them at all?
I do like Gorillaz, actually. I do like Gorillaz. I like Gorillaz. I'd sort of play up a little bit about Blur. It's mainly his Damon Albarn's voice that I don't like, because it's like it's like a fake sort of London, what we call Cockney accent. And it just kind of grates on me a little bit, his voice. But I mean, the guy's a talented songwriter.
Us Americans don't know what a fake Cockney accent.
No, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't be able to distinguish a West Coast accent from an East Coast accent.
Just ask Dick Van Dyke. We have no idea.
Yeah, so Blur is a bit like Dick Van Dyke, but to pop music. So
trying to sing pop music.
Yeah. I can imagine him singing Park Life or something like that, Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, but no, I mean he's clearly a talented bloke. But I do like Gorillaz. I was watching Gorillaz the other day on YouTube. And do you know an English band called The Fall? They're not around anymore. But so The Fall were a band from Manchester, and they had a really sort of charismatic lead singer called Marky Smith, who died. He died a couple of years ago. He was only about 60, but he had a life of smoking and drinking and just basically abusing his body. Not drugs as such, but a lot of cigarettes and alcohol. So he died about 2 years ago. And I was just going through one of my fall phases that I go through and just watch them sort of back to back on YouTube. And then it came up with him playing with Gorillaz at, I think it was the Reading Festival or one of the big festivals over here. Mm-hmm. And he did some really good songs and that with them. He just came on, just sort of, he's quite snarly and, sort of no interaction and that with the crowd. And he doesn't really sing. He just used to sort of shouting at his lyrics. So that was good. Like I say, I do like Gorillaz, and there are some good Blur songs, but just not very many, but a few more than there are Vampire Weekend songs.
So I like Gorillaz. They're kind of they're always mixed in with everything else. So on a regular basis, you'll hear a rocker involved in them, or a rapper that I like that, that's digging into him. There's a rapper that I really like called MF Doom, and he's, I really, really like him. And he's done a song or two with them. And so they're very collaborative. They're very involved in allowing other people to come in. You can hear that from song to song. And I've seen interviews with them talking about Albarn, and that he's very respectful to other people coming in, and they're and responsive and stuff. So I like the sound of that, and I probably should listen to more Blur, but I just hadn't. I don't know.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh man,
you're in a good place already with Pixies, so anything is a backward step, really.
I'll just stick there.
Yeah, just stick with Pixies. So now's your chance. I'm going to be speaking to your dad, hopefully in a couple of weeks. Now's your chance to get the dirt in on him if you want to, before he has a chance to get any dirt in on you. Have you got any embarrassing stories you want to tell us about your dad? There must be one or two.
I mean, I could tell you a story about one of his injuries at least.
Okay.
So
which part of the body is it injuring?
Oh, this particular one is most of the body. Okay. So he spent a period of time. He tore his ACL in his knee playing basketball on a Wednesday night one time when we were kids, and he had to have ACL, surgery, which is a extensive surgery.
Yeah.
Even in soccer and all that, y'all know ACL is a deal.
No, well, it used to be end of your career, didn't it? So not so much these days, but it used to be.
No, it's still a recovery. It's a whole year process to try to get back.
Yeah.
So during the process of him recovering from that, he was working nights and doing the same thing I do in work construction. And he was on like a light duty work thing, working nights, and he would come home, and it was the summer. So he'd come home and us kids were laying on the couch watching TV or playing video games. And he's like, no, that's bullshit. Y'all get up. Let's go do some work. Well, he's exhausted. He's been working all night. So he drags us outside, and I'm mowing the lawn. My middle brother's picking up stuff or whatever. My youngest brother tells him to go get some diesel. We got a big pile of like limbs and trees and stuff that we need to burn. And my brother comes back with gasoline, and Dad's like, whoa, crap, that's not good, but I can make that work. So he pours it into a pizza box, and he closes the pizza box up and he shoves it up in the fire and creates a little bomb inside the pizza box. So when he went to light it, it exploded up his arm and his face and everything.
Oh, nasty.
Luckily he moved my brother way back from it. And I guarantee I'm 50 feet away, and I felt it on my back, and I turn around and there's an inferno, and Dad's, stumbling back to me, and skin's just dripping off his arm and everything. And he burned it up bad. And he spent so his knees messed up. He's got, burns on his arms and his face and in his body here. And he spent the next year recovering from all these things, these goofy little decisions that he made. But it's definitely not, it wasn't a good year for his body. But luckily, most of his, I think his beard and all his hair and everything, it protected most of his face.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, he's only got a few little small scars and all that from it, but I think he's a little injury prone. He's done that. That's not the only one. There's been quite a few.
Right. But that was the worst one, was it?
That was a pretty bad one.
Right.
Us kids had to, get somebody to get in the emergency room. It was a whole experience. But
you live to tell the tale. That's the main thing.
We're glad we get to laugh about it now instead of it being worse.
Cool. Okay, well, we've reached that time. It's that last question, which I've already primed you up for. You know what it's going to be, but I'll read it out to you nonetheless. This is Joe Kirkham, the one with the terrible sewer mind, wants to know, you're having one of those awful dreams where suddenly you've been put on a stage naked in front of a huge crowd, and they're all waiting for you to sing a song. Which Pixie song are you going to sing?
So I have to get naked like now?
No, that's not necessary, Greg.
Oh, just okay, gotcha.
No, this is just for those who want to participate. It's just in their minds that you're naked. Okay, we don't actually we don't need to see the real thing. But thanks for the offer.
Okay. That's fair. So I got to say, it's probably be Hey. If I'm naked on stage, it's got to be fairly sensual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you got to lean into it.
Not a quick one either.
No. You got to go with it.
You're happy to stay there in all your glory and everyone to admire your singing.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta go with it. You're already naked on stage. If you don't lean into that thing, then it's
embrace
just
the moment. Yeah.
Oh man.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I know, bless her. That's the mind of a Scouser from Liverpool for you. So, mate, it's been great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for doing these. These have been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed watching them. They're pretty awesome.
Well, I've still got plenty more in the pipeline as well. So people seem quite keen to do them, which is really lovely. So
I've only had one concern about the whole thing, and that Lisa Simpson didn't have a Scottish accent. That's my one thing.
I know. Tell me about it.
I was so disappointed by that.
I know.
We gotta wait till Peter comes out to not be able to understand what he's saying on there.
Yeah, well, hopefully Peter's coming up quite soon in this series. So we shall restore that, and you'll hear a proper Scottish accent again. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Great to see you, mate. You enjoy your day.
Good to see you.
And
you too.
Hopefully I get to meet you someday.
Yeah, hopefully. I've got to get over there soon.
Cool. We look forward to meeting you.
Have a good one.
All the best. Cheers.